Can you hear me? No, you're not in here. Oh, alrighty. Hold on, guys. It isn't a Beyond the Shadows podcast without having technical difficulties. No. No.
Can you hear?
It's cutting in and out. No.
Can you see me? Can you hear me? I know it tells me my Wi-Fi is shitty.
All right, there you go. Why. All right, you're on.
What's your Wi-Fi say?
You gotta turn your sensitivity down. Yeah, you gotta turn your. I don't think you're on your microphone though.
Can you hear me?
There's feedback. Yes, I can hear you.
I have the microphone to my face.
Oh my gosh. But I can hear myself through your microphone. Because I don't think your audio is on your microphone. I think it's using your web camera. Oh my goodness gracious. Not through your microphone, through your camera. We're going to figure this out, folks. Alrighty. Well, welcome to the Beyond the Shadows podcast. We're going to give a little bit.
Don't know why you started until I told you.
Well, welcome to the Beyond the Shadows podcast. We're going to give a little bit. Give me one moment. Bear with us, guys. Bear with us. All right. Well, welcome to Beyond the Shadows podcast. My name is Madison. This is from we're I'm at the mute you because I can hear you through your camera. Welcome to Beyond the Shadows podcast, hosted by Haunted Souls Paranormal. It is Tuesday, August 6th, episode 27. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about West Virginia Penitentiary. West Virginia Penitentiary. So we're having some technical difficulties. So we're trying to work through that. But weather, it is super, super duper hot. Currently in the mansion, it's really hot. And we are bearing through it with the heat. Weather outside, cool fronts coming in, so thank God. But yeah, I'm gonna go through some comments. Aunt Kathy said, "What's up, y'all? Hello. Susan, hi. Lauren, howdy, friends. Gina, hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
Anyways, so, hello, Gina. Brandon, evening HSP. Hey, guys. Also, Lauren said it was Brandon's birthday today, so happy birthday, Brandon. Happy birthday. Everyone's wishing Brandon a happy birthday. Brandon said, "Aw, thanks, guys. What better way to spend my birthday than with you fine people?" Oh, thank you. Um, Lauren said, "Them damn Wi-Fi ghosts strike again." LOL. It's just him. Like Mom said, they're always messing with Dan. Yeah, it's just his side.
I don't understand why my computer does not. The screens are black. I don't know why. And it tells me in the corner up there I have no internet. But my internet is full down here on the right hand side.
That's so
I don't
weird.
know. This computer must be crappy or something. It must not have enough gigabyte or whatever to do what it's supposed to do.
To support the Wi-Fi.
So it looks like I'm gonna have to bring the laptop back again because I had no problems before with the laptop. So
yeah, I mean, it's not the ideal contraption that you wanted, but I mean, if it works, it works. So, but updates on life, anything? And it's not it's his is down again. Kathy said change sides and see if you fool the Wi-Fi ghost. I know. I think it's just that computer. I swear. But I don't really have any too many of life updates. I start school on the 19th. That's about it. So enjoying the rest of my summer. But yeah. I kind of don't want to get into West Virginia without him. So trying to think of what else. I'm gonna talk to him through the other side of the room. All right, we're gonna try it on his phone, and then I'm just gonna talk really quiet into my mic. There is no room to come sit on my side. There is no room. He can use his phone. He'll be fine. Give him a little minute. I guess I can go full screen right now. But can you hear me now?
can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just
I
a
can
little
hear you
delayed.
now.
It's just a little delayed,
Nope.
but we're just gonna go with it.
I don't know what the deal is. I'm just gonna have to bring back the laptop. I guess this computer. And it's been only doing it since I started with this computer.
Yeah.
So my screen keeps going blank and everything. So we'll just go with it.
Yeah.
Am I still on the delay?
Yeah, you're a little behind, so I'm gonna pause and talk. But I didn't want to start West Virginia talk without you, because I was just standing here going, okay, guys, we're gonna get through this.
Yeah.
There you go. Gina, sorry, I've had a really long day. Gina said it may also be overheated because it's so hot, but mine's fine though. We're in the same building in the same temperature.
It's been doing it since,
Yeah, even when it wasn't as hot, it was still doing this whole thing.
Can you hear me normally now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
It's not even on the screen.
Yeah, I can hear you
Like,
fine now.
Yeah, it's like it's the Chrome homepage is on my screen.
Oh, well, I would just not touch it right now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I mean, I don't have to look at nothing, so I mean,
No, I mean, I'll just read the comments. I mean, this is what we're just gonna have to do.
can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
That is weird.
We're just gonna do that. Just don't mess with it. Do not touch anything.
Well, we'll just go with it then.
We'll just go with it. If the comments come up, I'll read it out loud. Welcome everybody. I'll say about that the 5th time. Welcome. I went over weather. Is there any updates? I had no updates. Well, besides me starting school, but did you have any
It is
updates?
hot.
Yeah.
Thank God for this cold front coming through.
I know. But
sorry about all the technical difficulties, everybody.
It's frustrating. It is.
I know, it's crazy.
West
Virginia this weekend. What a
Yeah.
hell of a trip. What a trip. What a trip.
What a long trip.
It was long in the car,
Yes.
but
Short in days.
Well, yeah, short in the day too. Yeah. I'm gonna try to bring it up on my phone. I know it's gonna be delayed, but
I mean,
so at least I
it's
can
fine
see
right
what's
now.
going on.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's not
okay.
even.
I see what you're doing. It's still
I'm gonna turn down the phones just so I can see what's going on. It's weird.
To start it off, what did start off this weekend? We got up. Well, first of all, I fumbled the bag this weekend. I forgot about 15 things.
Oh, you mean so I left Maddie in charge of putting all the equipment together. Now we didn't take all of our equipment.
No.
But I left Maddie in charge of the equipment and
You've
the
learned
camera.
your lesson.
And now, yeah. So yeah, to take off, it was a group of Tennessee Tennessee Chasers, Paranormal Possum. It was Haunted Souls Paranormal, some night shift people. They were all people that we used to work with. I used to work with at GHU.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were some new people that I hadn't met. I know the guy that said I shaved my balls for this t-shirt, Bailey. That's a shirt
awesome.
he wore. That was a shirt that he wore. Can
I just say one thing? When we were walking in the door, him and Rachel met and tried to go at the door at the same time. He's like, "Oh no, you go first," and she goes, "No, you shaved your balls for this. You go ahead."
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, he had a shirt that said I shaved my balls for this. It was great. I'm like, but yeah. So we rode with Aaron and Abby and stuff, and we drove half the way. We stopped in Richmond, Indiana. We drove 5 hours. We stayed the night. This awesome B&B Airbnb. It was a loft. Used to be an old 10 factory or something. And it was phenomenal. The decorating in it was so industrial, and I was like, I could really see myself living up here in this loft and stuff. Not in Richmond, but in that loft.
Just say like the loft wasn't my aesthetic, but I could see myself living in an apartment like that. Like it was really. So if you're ever in Richmond, Indiana, right?
Yeah, Richmond, Indiana.
Go to the Star Loft.
No, I'm gonna play with my microphone.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Stop it over there. Stop it.
So, but yeah, that was the we stayed there and had a nice dinner. Where do we go? Oh, we went and ate at the this barbecue place, and I've been craving like big, huge potatoes. Like, baked potatoes stuffed with like beef and, you know, barbecue and stuff like that. And they were had like these Texas taters is what was called on their menu. And I was like, yeah, I've been wanting one of these. And what happens?
He
we're
didn't get
sold
it.
out of those.
The lady right over there just had the last one.
Yeah, I was like, damn. So got back on the road, and it was nice for once not having to rush to get everything done. I mean, we made it into town at our hotel. Had a pool was open 24 hours, which was
First
really
time
crazy.
for that.
Yeah. I forgot about having a pool. We went to Walmart and had to get a suit.
Yeah, because I was not informed that there would be a pool.
I didn't realize either. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Maddie. But anyway, we went and got a pool, and we went down. We had some wine, and we're sitting at the pool. Abby and Aaron decided to sit in the septic hot tub over there, and probably got typhoon out because it wasn't running. You couldn't see the bottom of it.
Oh man!
I beat Maddie in some round the world basketball.
No. We never finished the game.
Who was out in front?
Okay, you were ahead of me, but you didn't beat me.
So, yeah. And we kind of relaxed a little bit in the pool and took a shower, got ready, and went. We went and saw. They had said that White Gate Cemetery was where they took the prisoners that weren't, the families did not collect their bodies or anything. Then they would take and they would bury them there, and they would bury multiple bodies in holes, and all they got was there it is right there. So they would just bury them, and they would get this little stick and a piece of paper with their number on it. As you can see, the rocks to the right hand side there, right in front of the gates there, that's a big creek that goes along down the road forever. And everybody that lives on the other side has a bridge that they have to cross over to get to their house. So me and Maddie decided that we were going to go over there, but the creek had washed out the bridge, and there was no way to get over there.
Yeah, there was no way. There ain't no way.
There's no way to get over there.
No way. Well, then I was like, okay, first of all, either the spot that we could get in there, my shoes would get soaked, and we have a 4-hour investigation that night. I don't really want to have squeaky shoes and wet socks all night. So
we had 6 hour. We had it from 11 to 6 or 11 to 5.
Yeah, well, but by the time we got everything like to actual physically investigate.
Yeah, so we went there, we tried to Maddie take a picture of it, whatever. We didn't get a chance to walk over there and get closer shots. Because Maddie, number one, forgot the first thing of her road trip that she forgot was the company camera, which we probably would have got a closer shot with Zoom with the company camera. So if you're all going to play bingo, let's play bingo. What Maddie forgot this weekend.
Everyone put your bets in now.
Yeah. So she forgot the camera. So that was okay. And I never got mad at anything she forgot either. So
no.
Before everybody's like, I guess Dan got mad. No, I didn't. Then we went to dinner and started meeting everybody. I shaved my balls for this guy. He was at our dinner.
He walked in, I saw that shirt, and I was like, is he wearing that to investigations?
Yeah.
He did. Oh, Bailey. It's a fun guy. I'd go drinking with him.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. But then we ate, had some time to kill before. Yeah, that was the only bummer about the whole West Virginia Penitentiary is you cannot get in until 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I wish we would have known this. No one kind of dropped the ball, but we had so much time during the day. If we'd have known that all we had to do was go take a tour, I would have loved to take a tour during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could have jumped in because we thought we had to take the tour at night before we investigated. But the lady Lori, that was really nice, she was like, you don't have to. And some of the people that had already been there, took off and went and investigated by themselves.
Yeah.
Wow, this lady, oh my goodness, man. Just when we pulled up, it was literally 2.5 minutes from our hotel.
Yeah.
It was like block. We were like in neighborhood, and then all of a sudden, poof, there's this big cement prison that's just concrete walls.
This is the
It's
front
just
of it.
crazy.
This is just like the front door, main entrance.
Yeah, we went in the side door.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That place, that's the original administration building that was the original entrance that you would go into. And everything. And then the top 2 floors up there on that on that building there is the wardens. When the prison first opened, the wardens family and stuff would live up in the top 2 floors there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the warden would stay. So he would literally have to stay in the prison with his prisoners.
She said that there was like his kids that lived there, and grandchildren would come and visit.
You were barred. Oh, sorry. What was she barred from?
Do what?
Mal said it's true. I was barred.
I was.
She was what?
I don't know. I wasn't looking at the comments.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, it was up my phone, my face. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
So yeah, I mean, this place was massive, and like if you've been to Missouri State Penitentiary, they have the same kind of front awning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that big front, but not as big as that.
No, it was huge. And I'm across the street in that photo, by the way. I am not directly in front of it. I am across the street. And like I said, like the warden's kids was raised there, and his grandchildren would come and visit. And it's a huge place.
Yeah, and we entered on the right side of the building. We didn't even go in the front.
No.
We entered on the right side, and it was really weird when we took a group photo first, and then we took a group photo and we all went in. It was like a fenced in area, like you would have to be, and come to find out that was, I guess, the area where they used to have visitors if you were in the visitors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the area you would go to visit your loved one.
That was the visitation center or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's where you went in. And it was a nice little museum type souvenir place there and stuff. And they had the original electric chair, old Sparky there.
I do have that photo. Give me 1 second. That's it. That's old Sparky. That's the original electric chair that was
yep.
Which I think 9 of the last electrocutions.
Yeah, 9 of the last deaths there were electrocutions.
Yep.
Yeah, mostly they were hung. So most of the people were executed by hanging, but the last 9 were executed there with old Sparky there. So they have the like in the bottom right hand corner there, they have
after the paper on the bottom row is the ones that were executed.
Yeah, in the bottom row of that picture. Yeah, at the very last row, there's a certificate. Like the other 9 guys there were electrocuted. So all of those guys there were
hung.
All hung. And we'll talk about that later because we'll talk about when we came back and talked to the lady because we got some information about those pictures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we all got in, filled out our flyer or our waivers, and the lady was like, "Do you want to take a tour?" We're like, "Do we have to?" And she's like, "Oh no, you don't have to take the tour." So we were like, "Oh, let's not." And then we're like, "Yeah, we really don't know where we're going."
Yeah, I was like, I have no idea. Even after, just a side note, even after the tour, I still didn't know where I was going half the time.
Why is it that I knew exactly where we were going? I knew that's a little creepy that I knew exactly how to get through that prison.
Well, I mean,
Through the one time.
to be fair, it is like a huge circle.
Yeah, I mean, where you
I
have
just filled
the
them in.
floors that you go, yeah. But I was like really impressed that I knew to the one time going through there, other than when we went through the one time that me and you were alone and we walked through and you're like, oh, we go through this way, it'll put us out right here.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Didn't
oh yeah, I
know
forgot about that.
didn't know where I was going the whole time, but I knew how to do that little passageway of like, oh hey, we go through here, we'll end up out there. What? It was weird.
Yeah. So we went on the tour and they took you down to first stop was Gin Pop, and then they took you out through the hallway to the old cafeteria. Or no, we went out to the outside to the yard first, and they had said that that's the yard that they would take everybody. There was an old baseball field in the one corner. There was a chapel all the way across the yard in the other side, and then we walked down the steps and walked down this little hole in the wall stairwell that led out into this, like, we zigzagged through these cells and it led out to this big huge room down there. And they called it the Sugar Shack.
Sugar Shack, yep.
Yeah, it was the Sugar Shack. And do you know why they called it the Sugar Shack? Do you remember?
I do. So they called it the Sugar Shack. So basically, if it was raining or thunderstorms or whatever, bad conditions outside, they basically, instead of going outside for their outdoor time, they would send them down to the Sugar Shack. And that's where they would do whatever they needed to do outside of their cells.
There was pool tables and ping pong tables,
yeah,
stuff down there for them. It was like a rec room for them,
yeah,
down there.
But the thing is, and that this goes throughout the whole prison, is the guards were not able to be armed. So you have about what they say they put like 50 inmates down there at the time, 20.
Yeah.
And you're putting all of these inmates into one room that has one exit and one entrance, and you're not armed. So they would leave them unattended a lot of the times. And what wind up happening if you have unattended, there would be stabbings and murders, and there was some sexual assaults down there that were what's the word? It was
raped.
No, I was not saying. That's why I just said sexual assaulted.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What's that word? It's
unsolicited.
No,
unconsensual.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. And I was like trying to find out where you're like this one. I'm like, no. So a lot of bad things happen down there, and it's a lot of heavy feelings happened down there from paranormal investigators. So we went down there, and it was definitely
it was very heavy. I thought it was heavy, very muggy and thick down there.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of art. There's art all through this prison that the prisoners had drawn on the walls and stuff, and they let the art on there. And down there in the Sugar Shack, they would draw on the walls and stuff like that, in which they kept the drawings and stuff. But yeah, they said that you could get your sweets at the Sugar Shack because whatever you wanted, you could get at the Sugar Shack because there was no guards down there. They would just put them in a room and just let them, and let them be. So a lot of stuff, bad stuff happened down in the Sugar Shack.
Yes.
And stuff. But yeah, then we went to the Sugar Shack, and then we went to the old cafeteria.
Which is where the riot actually started.
Yeah, they rioted, and they kept 15 guards and one
prisoner.
Kitchen help. No, one kitchen help.
Oh, sorry. Kitchen help.
And they held them hostage, and they said they asked them what were they rioting for, and they said they wanted a better cafeteria.
what their condition of that cafeteria, the old cafeteria is they said there was maggots in their food. There was rats everywhere and nothing was clean. Things were crawling into their food.
Yeah,
And
there was no heat. There was no air
No.
conditioning or nothing.
No.
So imagine a prison like we're in right now with no fans.
Yeah.
And just food being spoiled and, rats clawing roaches.
Yeah.
And stuff.
So that's all they asked for was just a new cafeteria, a new place to eat their meals.
Yep. And we walked out and walked straight into the new cafeteria that they got.
And it is big.
Yeah, it was a bigger cafeteria with a nice kitchen in the back and stuff. And the prisoners, the guards would actually eat behind the wall and stuff with the prisoners and stuff. So it was pretty cool and stuff. And then we went outside. There was a second yard that I was like, holy crap.
That one was a big one.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then that one, then we went down into the hole, which was the dungeon, which was solitary confinement or dungeon or whatever you want to call the hole.
Which
was scary as it
this is behind the building. That's behind the building. That's where that back, that second courtyard is back behind this.
Yeah. So at the top, right there, the top 2 floors again was where the warden stayed, so she could look over the yard, and stuff. And the bottom in the basement underground, and that is where the hole was.
Yes.
And then to the right of that, there's 2 basketball courts now, but those used to be the executioner.
Sorry, go ahead.
What was you gonna say?
I'm going to talk about the hole.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, you're good. So the hole, there was an inmate, and I totally forgot his name, but he worked down there. That was his job. He was taking care of everything down in the boiler. It was
he was the boiler room man. Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that. They called him the rat.
Yeah, and he was down there. That was his job, and that's all he did. And they called him the rat because he snitched.
Yes.
And if anybody knows, everyone should know, in prison, if you snitch, you know what happens. So what happened was they said they chained him up or something like that, and they brutally stabbed him and cut him, and they try to decapitate him, and his body in one of the back holes in the boiler room. So that's the story of that. Not only is it down there, but also tons of bats, living bats.
Yeah.
Down there in that one.
Let me tell you right now, this whole place is full of bats. There's bats flying everywhere in this place. Yeah, there's bats everywhere in this building. It's crazy. I mean, I think Cameron got hit in the chest with a bat. Abby got hit, a bat flew in her arm. The cat that lives there, Greg, he killed a bat. He got one out of the air and killed the bat and was eating one in the hallway when we walked by.
Yeah.
The whole place was full of bats. We were actually sitting outside of the hole in the courtyard, and 2 girls came out of the hole, and a bat flew between them right out the hole.
But like my dad was saying, we walked out from the hole and we went out to the courtyard by the basketball courts.
Well, we went to the white, what they call it, the garage. What was the name of that?
Oh,
there's a blue building that used to be out there by the fence. Used to be a green yard, like a greenhouse.
Yes.
And they let 3 prisoners out there in the greenhouse run the greenhouse. And they would sell plants and grow plants and sell a lot of plants to all the people that lived in Moundville, right? Yeah, Moundville. So these guys were like, they went out there so much and this stuff, they said that the guards just stopped paying attention to them. Like they weren't even, they could go out there anytime they wanted to. They weren't supervised. And lo and behold, these 3 guys were digging a hole under the fence, under the wall, and using the soil that they were digging the hole with to plant flowers and using that soil to, make the flowers and send them off and everything. The hole was so elaborate. It had like electricity. It was like big enough for them to walk, almost like walk through. I mean, they dug this hole for a long time.
Yeah.
And they escaped. They put like a cover over the top of it, a manhole over the top of it, and
Yep.
they all three got captured.
Yeah. One was in Texas, one was in Oklahoma. I can't remember where the other one was from or where he got captured.
But there was a big article about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's pretty funny.
I mean, before the lady even said anything about like how they got rid of the soil, I was about to say, that's a lot of dirt. Where did they get rid of the dirt from? And then she followed in with, they would use the dirt to plant the flowers in the pots, and they would sell the flowers to everybody in town. So that was very genius.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to that, walked over from there. Then we went to the original, that white building that had the lights on, which was the original, I think, the entrance where they would come in and they would get like let out of
the wagon
house or wagon house or something like that. But that's where I think where you came in, and she didn't say much. She did say that it looked like the old building that they would get executed in.
Oh, I remember. Sorry, I just totally remembered this. She said that was the oldest building in the prison. They built that building. They had the prisoners at first sleep in that building on the floor.
Right. They built,
and then they told them, and then they were like, build the prison.
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
you're right. They had the very first prisoners that ever lived in that building,
and
they built the prison.
Yep.
And a lot of them, you could see names and stuff on the side, on the bricks of people, because you had to have so many bricks per day laid or whatever. So they would write their names, so they knew that was their bricks that they were laying, so they wouldn't get in trouble. And then there's other things on them too that they wrote.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a prison and you're there for however many years you served.
But there was these long stairs that went all the way up to the top of this place, and it looked like it had a trap door, like where they were hang people. But they wouldn't hang nobody. And there's a string hanging. She's like, everybody hangs from the string and pulls on the string and everything. And I was like, oh. She goes, oh, we used to have that string rigged up to where when someone would tug on it, the floor would open up and a body would drop out of there.
Which, like, I did see a photo. It was a photo, I think, on their like postcards, sitting on the front desk right there where you check out. And I think it had one of her contrapted bodies.
Oh, Jesus.
I just saw that and I was like, oh, I guess that's the body she was talking about.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I'm like, really? You're just going to scare people?
She goes, and I did.
So, yeah. So we walked over, and then the two basketball courts now are what used to be the execution buildings, the death houses. Yep. They call them the death buildings. Yep. They tore those down, though. The executioner, when old Sparky left, they tore that building down, and then when they stopped the hangings, they tore those buildings. And they made them basketball courts for the maximum security. It's a maximum security prison, but these were like death row people that were never getting out of prison again.
These were like endangered to society people, like endangered to the other prisoners as well.
Yeah, we went there, and that's the part we went in, and everything was like fenced in. Like the cells had like fenced in, the roof was fenced in. They were like in a fence in a cell. So the guards would be outside the fence. Like they could never reach a guard. And even when they went like at the very end, there was a day room that had like metal tables and everything. And there was the
showers were literally just right there.
Yeah, the showers were right there in front of the guards. They had like a eagle's crow nest up there at the top that the guards.
Someone was fully armed.
That was fully armed, and that was all fenced into. Like they couldn't, like you could literally walk on top of the prisoners on the fence. Everything was fenced in, and they said that they would shoot. There was a target on the other side of the wall that the people in the eagle crow's nest would shoot at the target over across the hall to scare the guard, to scare the
prisoners
when they were like getting rowdy or something. And she, at that time, she
Oh
took
my
her flashlight
and
and she's like,
boom!
"Oh yeah, the guards would shoot at the targets right over there." And she slammed her flashlight on this metal table, and it
I'm
was like
standing right there.
it was like a loud bang, and like everybody jumped. I'm like, she goes, "Yeah, now imagine a gun going off in here." I'm like, that's just not right. I'm like, listen, lady, we need to have a talk. You're trying to scare everybody.
They had a situation. Now I'm talking fenced in, like I could bring my flashlight up and I can't see the cells from the entrance door because there's so many fences zigzagging through.
Yeah.
And then before they would go into the day room, they would take them out. They basically would have a cell or it was basically like a cell or fence that they would block them off. They had to strip their clothes. They had to check them, go through, put their clothes on, and then go to the day room. And then when they were done at the day room, they would basically do it again. They would go in this little thing, take all off their clothes, check them, put their clothes back on, and then they're able to go to their cell.
Yeah. And even when they got to go out for 1 hour, they
It was
spent 22 hours in their cell. They would eat in their cell and stuff. But even they get to 1 hour in the yard, they would still do the exact same thing. They would strip them down and check them and everything. And stuff. So
and she said there was only like 5 people allowed in the yard at one time.
Yeah, they would have to do them at certain times and everything. And then she explained the word slammer came from the slam rod they had up on the top, where they could like literally open 1 or 2 doors at a time, and the slam rod would go across and it would unlock certain doors. And that's where they got the term slammer from.
Because they didn't want the guards
everybody out
to go,
at one time.
Yeah, or the guards to be at the door too, trying to open it.
At the beginning, when you first walk in, there's like 3 cells, and those were like for the very bad. I think it was the Aryan Brotherhood. The leader of the Aryan Brotherhood was in one, and then there was another guy in another one. And then when he stepped out of his, they thought
there was some
that they were
conflict.
friends. Yeah, they thought they were friends, and he stepped out and they stabbed the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood and killed him.
He turned right around and just stabbed him. Yeah.
So there were some bad people. A lot of art in those rooms too.
Yes.
And then if you go in one room, one cell has a glory hole in it.
Yeah, connecting 2 cells.
Yeah, it has a mouth like the Rolling Stones. It has a hole to the other cell. Yeah.
9 and 10.
She said that a bunch of bikers that came through on a tour, and they all had to get their picture taken. They were sticking their tongue through the hole and stuff. I'm like, ew.
Did anybody? Are they still alive? Has anyone checked on them?
They died. Was the same as the? Can't be no worse than the hot tub.
No, it could be worse, and it was worse.
But yeah, then that went out to the summit, to the mid, and then went upstairs was the psych ward and the infirmary and the psych ward. And then we came down, and which had the x-ray room. They had a dentist up there. All the doctors' offices and stuff were up there.
Yeah.
And everything. And then the psych ward was up there. They had a big room that had nothing but beds in it. So
there was 20 beds in there.
Yeah, there was no one got their own private room up there or something. But that's one of her favorite places. She says it's very active and stuff. So that was our tour. We went back downstairs to get ready to go, and then we found out that Maddie forgot an auxiliary cord. Maddie forgot the holder for the camera.
No, I didn't forget the holder. I forgot the attachment that the camera sits on top of. I forgot the auxiliary cord because I picked up the headphones that had a cord in it, and I was like, oh, it just detaches. It does not detach, apparently, with those headphones. So I forgot one. My bad.
Yeah. So that was her list of things that she forgot.
Did anyone get bingo?
Yeah. So me and Maddie, everybody kind of took off, and me and Maddie were still getting our stuff together, and We thought everybody left. We didn't know that everybody went out to the courtyard to smoke. We
Before we
found
do
out later
that,
on.
I did take some photos. The area. I just want to show this. Do I even? Never mind. It didn't upload. Never mind.
What area of what?
All the like little shanks.
Oh, those didn't upload?
It didn't upload. Everything else did, but that
Drop the ball. In their museum, they have like all the execution people.
Yeah.
And then there is a women's prison, and then there was a children's prison too, wasn't there? A holding. She said behind the blue building there was a women's cell, and then there was like a minors or something. But
yeah.
Charles Manson's mother was in West Virginia Penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what they got her for.
I can't remember either.
But Charles Manson had wrote West Virginia Penitentiary, and that's the letter that hangs on the wall that Charles Manson wrote, asking to be transferred to West Virginia Penitentiary to be with his mom. And you know what West Virginia
not be with
said?
his mom, be closer to his home.
Yeah, be in the same prison as his mom.
His mom died already, right?
No, she was in the prison. He wanted to be closer to her.
Oh, that's not what the sign said. That's why I was questioning. But you probably are right.
Is that what it was? That's what I thought she said.
But
anyway,
no, on the little, yeah, good.
Anyway, West Virginia said no. They said, ain't happening, Bundy. You're going to stay in California.
Why would you want to go there? Why would you want to
go?
It
was kind of cool that Charles Manson's mom was there.
Yeah. They said that he was practically born in there because.
Yeah, I think it was like, 2 months after he was born, she went to prison or something.
Yeah. So in his mind, that was his home.
So.
I don't know.
But they have all the shanks and stuff that they had confiscated and stuff, and some are small and some are like huge. I'm like, how do these people hide these things? They look like machete
size. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, geez.
Glory hole. Sorry.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh. Thought someone said that on the comment or something.
No. Me.
That was you.
Continue.
So, but me and Maddie decided that we were like by ourselves, I guess. So we ventured on out to. We didn't know everybody was smoking outside, and then everybody kind of went to the Sugar Shack first. So there was a lot of people down there in the Sugar Shack. So we went up to the Psych ward, and we were sitting up there. It was very hot up there because heat rises.
Sweat was rolling down my back.
Yeah, so we were sitting there. We put some equipment out, and all of a sudden we heard this, boom, boom, like coming up the steps, like somebody when boots were coming up the steps, and we're like, "Oh, somebody's coming."
No one ever
sat there, and no one came out. So I looked at Maddie. I was like, "You did hear that, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." So we sit there a little bit longer, and all of a sudden hear, doom, doom, like someone walking up the steps again. And I was like, waiting for that person to walk through the door. And then at that time, we heard like a door close, like open, or
I don't even know what it was. Unexplainable. It was like,
yeah, it was
the whole time things were like crashing, and like it sounded like someone was back there messing with stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And everything. And then I was like, well, then we heard it again. And then that time someone did come through. So what we heard was someone coming up the steps, because then Audra came up through and she had said that everybody was at the Sugar Shack. So we knew nobody else was walking around the prison, that she literally just left there and everybody pretty much was there at the Sugar Shack. So we're like, well, we heard 2 steps. We heard people walk up the steps. And she's like, oh, yeah, when I was here the first time, that's the same thing I heard. And she had put her rope out on that side of the wall. And I mean, not even 10 minutes, and she was there I don't remember if the rope lit up first or after, but we heard the doom, doom again, like somebody walking up, and she's like, "That's the same thing I heard last time."
I had made the comment. It's so funny for some reason, and this doesn't just happen now at this point in the story, but it happens all night. And I was like, oh, it might be. I wonder if it's because things were like it sounded almost like glass. Like it was,
Cracking, not breaking,
yeah,
but like cracking, like that's what we would hear a lot of.
yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe it's like water.
I think it was the
And
bats. Now that I think about all the bats flying around, I think that sound is the bats.
oh, I don't know. But they had a funny way of timing. If it was the bats, they had a funny way of timing it because I go, oh, it could be just water, and all of a sudden you hear, and I was like, what the?
No, that one wasn't a bat, but I know what you're talking
No,
about.
yeah,
The other times that we heard like the little tight, it felt like the room was shifting and the roof was kind of cracking and crack. I think those were the bats flying around in the rafters.
Mm.
But that crashing, that sound that we heard that was over to the right of the wall, in the corner of the wall, like in the same room as we were.
yeah.
Yeah, that was not bad. At one point in time, like I was like, all right, I was ready to get up and go because it was like so creepy that we could hear things constantly around us, but nothing. We can't see nothing. And that was like the first time that we've like ever sat and like heard continuous walking. Like we've heard it like once or twice, and then it never happens again. But this was like 3 times that we kept hearing walking sounds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And then I looked down and it was already 1 in the morning. I was like, okay, we gotta move. And that was the only hard part about it is like you wanted to stay there for as long as you possibly can and keep staying there. But there was a whole other prison that we wanted to hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's already 1:00. We got to be out here by 5. We have to go. This is our first stop. We got to go to something else.
And the funny thing about it is I got my ass scared on the tour. I didn't bring this up, but when we were walking through the Psych, they have a dummy in the one closet, and it's not like sitting like outside the closet. It's like kind of back in the closet, but you can see it. And I was like looking in the room, and my flashlight came through and scared the living shit out of me because I thought somebody was standing there.
He did.
And then Aaron was like, "What are you scared of a dummy?" And I was like, "Look at this thing." And he's like, "Oh, that is creepy." I'm like, I know.
Especially when you're not expecting it too.
They do use it. There's a section of that prison that you can't go in because they use it for their haunted house. They do have a haunted house there.
Well, I did kind of hear some people say that you can normally go through there and go through that parts, but it's so close to Halloween that they already have to start getting things together. So it was closed off.
So we went downstairs, took a break. Did we?
Was that that was our big break with talking with
Was it? No, I thought that was the next one. Yeah,
no.
It was the next one because we went to because we went to the maximum. We went to the solitary confinement because it told us to go somewhere, and that's when we went back and talked to her.
Oh, okay.
We went back thinking that there was going to be people, to investigate with, and everybody was still out doing their thing. So me and Maddie were like, okay, I guess we're doing this prison by ourselves.
Yeah. And it's big enough where you don't see people. Like we were, I think that the whole group, because like when we came down from the infirmary, people went up to the infirmary because there was a group of girls that came down and were like, oh, where'd everyone go? And they're like, oh, they just walked up to the infirmary. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
it
we
seemed
just
like
came
they were
from there.
following like right behind us. Like every time like we left, then the group would go up to where we were at and stuff. So
it was nice because we saw no one the whole time, basically.
Yeah. So we went to solitary confinement, which was the max security, the people stayed in their cells for 22 hours and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had sat in cell 13 and stuff. And literally there was a bed and a crapper. That was it. in this room. And at one time,
They
she said that back in the day, before it was max security, because it became max like that when they stopped the executions because they knew they weren't going anywhere. They were going to
Yeah.
die in prison. But they used to put 3 people in that cell.
I'm
It was like,
talking smaller than a walk-in closet.
yeah, it was like me and Maddie, and I barely can like clear with my head and stuff. So we had set some equipment outside. We were listening to Phasma Box and stuff.
I
And
didn't, and I'll mention this because later it's the total opposite. But like you know me, I'm a scaredy cat, and I was not scared in this section of the prison. It was creepy. Don't get me wrong, but I was not scared.
it was very creepy.
See, but that's the thing. Like,
It's like you were
It-
trapped, though.
oh
Like,
yeah,
with all that fencing, it was like you were like I could imagine being a prisoner living like that because you were constantly like, I don't know, you live in a cell, but normally
were
when you walk
caged.
out of your cell, it's open and you're not caged, but you were still caged.
Yeah, no, like cage is a nicer word for it. Like it is so boxed in each individual little thing that you are physically like you're trapped.
Yeah. That's a horrible life to live. But
Well, there's a reason why.
yeah, I guess true.
I guess. Yeah,
Well,
some people probably didn't deserve to be there, but others probably did.
yeah. So me and Maddie sat there, was listening to Phasma Box. We weren't getting very much. We
No.
heard a lot of noises in the day room
Yeah.
and stuff, and down the hallways.
Mm-hmm.
And then something said on the Phasma Box, there's 5 of us. Or there's 5 of
Mm-hmm.
5 of us or something. 5 are coming or something. And I was like, okay, where are you coming? And then all of a sudden our rope light outside, our tripwire went off again. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, and then the Phasma Box said, are you scared? And I was like, am I supposed to be? And we didn't hear nothing after that. But it was just weird of how the light went off and then,
Yeah.
are you scared? Like, like, is it like it was supposed to scare us that he's standing out there or someone was standing out there?
And then we got, and I'm so sorry. There is a video. I edited the video. Everything's done. Everything's clipped. Everything's precise. And I cannot get the video to upload to StreamYard. So it's going to go somewhere. But in the video, it says, we got from the Phasma Box, it said, I'm a shapeshifter.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes.
And then it said, we show by light.
Yeah, we show by light.
We show by light. And I was like, okay, well, where can we see you? It said north. And I'm talking like before this, like pretty much our answers to things were like spaced out or the responses were spaced out. But this little section between the shapeshifters to this point, like it's boom, 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 boom. Like when editing the video, I didn't realize how fast it was going. I only had to take out maybe 16 seconds between the pause. And it responded. And it said north. I was like, okay. I said, well, make a noise. And again, I'm asking it. I'm like, and I said, make a noise if you want us to go to the North Hall. And kid you not, something else outside of the cell, you can hear it. It sounded like the rattling of the cell door.
Yeah.
And I literally look at you look at me, I go, are you kidding me? Because like it would boom right on command. I was like, if you want us to go to North, make a noise. And it was like, ching. I was like,
we were like, all right, we're packing up.
we left.
And then Maddie's like, I'm like, well, let's walk out this way. Mary's like, no, let's go this way. It's shorter. I'm like,
yeah,
we are walking towards the noise. I'm like, you understand this, right? And stuff. It's just very eerie when walking in that day room, though.
Okay, so I did not.
it was eerie that day.
Which,
I think it was just because I was closed in the whole time, like I'm caged
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Like I literally could stand and like put my hand up
yeah,
and touch the cage above me. Like you were totally like you were blocked in. You were just that was weird.
yeah. It was. There were some parts of the prison where I had to watch my head, and I'm 5'1". You know, and I think when we get to that point in our investigation, I'll kind of mention this too, why I think you were a little more scared, not scared, but a little more creeped out than I was. But so we walked out there, we walked through the main entrance, the administration, right?
Yep.
And then we went out the back and we went up to the lobby where everyone was at. Or not everyone was at, but no one was there.
We went back up to get something to drink and everything.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like the lobby where all of our stuff was at.
Yeah. We went up there and then we were looking at the pictures. I was looking at all the men that were executed on the pictures, right? And I looked at Maddie, I'm like, these are weird. I'm like, they're all wearing suits and ties. And then Maddie's like, that's weird. I'm like, yeah, it's like their court picture. Like when they went to court, they took a picture. And then the lady was like,
bring this picture up again.
And the lady is like, oh no. She goes, I was like, is this like their court pictures? They're all wearing ties and suits.
Yeah.
And she said, no, they used to make them put on a suit, a tie and a suit to take their picture before they were executed.
Like I'm talking literally, they like picture, boom, you're going.
Yeah, they would dress them in the suit, take the picture, undress them, put them in the clothes that they were going to die in, execute them.
And some of them, she pointed out, some of them at top, they still have their prison uniform on. They don't even have different clothes.
Yeah, they just have a suit jacket on and a tie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And
so
she said that there was like 3 sizes, and the rest, like they're basically all the same.
Yeah, they're pretty much even the black people. I think she said the men, they all had the same suit coat that they were all just putting on.
Yep.
And stuff. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4.
4 rows down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 rows going from the case to the left over. So from
4 rows down and the 11th row there, that guy right there. So their executions when they would do hangings were public. And they said that people would bring their children picnics and everything to watch the executions, watch these people hang. So that 11th guy there in the 11th row from the left, 4 rows down.
Yep.
He was the last public hanging because when they hung him, his head came off. He was decapitated. And they actually have the rope in the room there, in the case right below it or whatever, of the rope, of the decapitation rope and everything.
I'm literally re-downloading all the photos just so I can see if I can have it.
Yeah. So they said that after that decapitation that they were no longer public. They said you actually had to have like a ticket, which would have been like, media, the victim's family or the person that was being executed, their family. They weren't public anymore.
No.
So we were sitting there talking about the different pictures, and some of the people look like they're innocent. Like you have this look on their face like I'm dying for no reason. There's a couple of them on there that's like really weird. And we were talking about a couple of the people that look like maybe mentally there was something wrong with them and stuff like that. The guy next to him, the first guy that wasn't a public hanging, he's got glasses on and he looks like a clean cut guy. And I was joking and I was like, oh, this guy probably was set up, or I was like, oh, he's probably one of those serial killer guys that, you never, oh, that's my neighbor. I've known him for 20 years, but never knew he was a serial killer.
Yep.
I walked to the end, and I was like, "That's the
Oh,
same
no, no,
guy in
no,
the picture."
no. You're like, oh, look at this article. I'm like, oh, there's a baby, and I look, I'm like, hey, look, it's the guy. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
He was West Virginia's first serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "That's it." I told you, he looked like the guy that the neighbor.
Sorry, I just got that. This is the noose that the guy got decapitated with, and
Yes,
then
there it
here's all
is.
the little shanks that the guy has made.
Yeah, those are ones that they have confiscated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
like the one at the bottom is not little. That's like a machete.
no. But I was reading it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. He goes, what? I said, the man killed a woman and her 3 children.
Yeah, that's what he was being executed for. And then if you bring that picture back up real quick about the 3 guys, the 3 that were executed at the same time.
They are in the so they are the 1,
Second from the
2,
bottom row, ain't
3.
they?
Yes, second from the bottom row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are the 7th, 8th, and 9th picture from the left.
Yeah, those 3 guys, those 3 gentlemen, all were hung together.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy on the very end, by the time they hung, they had the other 2 guys' nooses on. By the time they were going to put the noose on the 3rd one, his trap door opened up.
It's the 10th guy from the
10th guy, sorry.
left. No, you're good.
His trap door opened up and he fell without being on the noose.
Broke almost every single bone in his body.
They dragged him because he was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
They dragged him, carried him back up the steps, and put a noose around his neck, and then hung him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what kind? That's because he didn't die. I guess if he had died, then they would have not done it. But
yeah,
since he wasn't dead, we're like, sorry, buddy, you just went through all this agony of breaking every bone in your body.
And I think the sad part is like you said before, this isn't just a public one. Their families, the victims' families, everything. Like his family was there, and not only did they have to see him like fall, but they had to see him get dragged up those steps and hung.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like, that is just nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back out. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it lagged. It's caught up now though.
Do what?
It lagged and it just caught up.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, back then being executed and by hanging and then being electrocuted that's crazy. And then they abolished the death penalty in West Virginia, so
yeah,
people would just be locked up in their cell for 22 hours.
Yeah.
But after that, we went to the old cafeteria.
Let me hit some comments. People that kind of.
Oh, okay.
Mal said, "Hey, pretend I'm not late." Mal said, "Buried. I don't know how or why I spelled it like that." And Kathy said, "Bingo on my card with 4 corners." Mal said, "The psych ward is paranormally gross. It made me feel icky, and I hated it. And I seen a crawler." Okay, I'm so glad no one told me about this freaking crawler while I was there until the very end. Someone told me about it at the very end, but I'm glad no one told about me in the very beginning. And then look who decided to say hello.
I don't know.
Andra.
Oh, Audra. Hey, what's going on? Just talking about the weekend. Is that the comments?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I just want to hit a couple.
No problem. No problem. So we went to the old cafeteria, try to get someone to talk to us about the riot. Didn't get much action in there.
No.
They had the light will light up. The tripwire lit up a couple times in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did get the SLS thing that I was upset that I didn't tape. I had the SLS camera on and the tripwire lit up, and then when it lit up, it showed a body laying on the floor right where the tripwire went off. And I was like, oh man, it mapped someone laying on the floor. I'm like, man. So I was kind of upset about that because I didn't have the record button on.
See, amateur.
Yeah. But then where we go? Oh, we walked down to the Sugar Shack because we had not been down there. Abby and all of them were doing Estes. Cameron was on Estes. And we walked in on like this guy talking about being shanked, that he died and it would hurt. And it was like really answering some really cool questions.
Mm-hmm.
And like telling his story, and it was kind of cool. And then I was trying to get some smokes off the mannequin that was standing next to the pole. I was like, hey, got any smokes? There's all these mannequins there.
Yeah, she's like, don't touch my zombies. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, her zombies for her haunted house.
Because they literally, in the Sugar Shack, that's a part of their...
They keep a lot of props there, too.
Yeah. So, it's like, man.
It was getting pretty late then, and then everybody wanted to end. So, if you didn't know, I know you guys didn't know, sorry, but last week, a gentleman, we don't know, they say he's suicide. He was driving at high speeds, and he ran into the side of the prison wall and killed himself instantly.
Yes.
His name was Vinny, and they're saying it was a suicide. So we asked the ladies, and they're like, well, it's a tragic thing.
Yeah.
We don't like to point it out to nobody, but have you explored around the blue building and everything? That's all I'm going to say. So we went out there, and we found there was some police tape still out there, and on the inside of the prison wall, you can see where he hit the wall. It was like there wasn't a completely hole through it, but you could tell it did.
But the concrete had been like caved in.
Yeah, the concrete had been shoved from a car. Yeah. But he hit it pretty hard. And we were all gonna meet up there and kind of end, and like they wanted to like see if they can get it on Estes. And then while we were sitting there waiting on people, the Phasma box did say Androniki, which was kind of cool because it usually never says her name. And it was called out her name, which was kind of cool. And then everybody kind of showed up, and then I'll let Maddie tell this rest of the story because all of a sudden 2 girls just took Maddie, and Rachel and Sammy took Maddie and left. And
so to back it up, while we were waiting for everybody, because we had made it to the wall before everybody else, and we're sitting at the patio steps, and we see Rachel and Sam go past us and go into the maximum security. Next thing you know, not even 2 minutes later, we see them coming out, and we see them staying over there. Abby then goes, hey, I'm going to go over. Apparently something happened with the girls inside maximum security. So then she goes over there, and they all come back, and they're like, Rachel was telling me, she was like, me and Sam walked in there. She goes, and it was like, it was the most terrifying thing ever. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah. So then we were like, Abby, come with us. She goes, and when Abby walked in with us, she goes, it was a little scary, but it wasn't like it was us but alone. And she was like, I think it's because there was that mother figure going back to why I did not feel scared at all in that area because no one would mess with me. But the fact that they were making you kind of be like creeped out is because they were testing you, probably. You see how that's kind of like,
I see what you're saying.
yeah. And so that's when everyone got to the wall, and then Rachel came over to me and she's like, hey, come with us. And I was like, oh, okay. And I go walk away, and I looked at my dad. I was like, oh, come on. And she's like, oh, no. He stays here. You come with us. And I was like, oh, okay. So I go with the girls, and we go inside. This is my second time going into maximum security. And we walk in, and instantly I'm like, oh, this is different. And we walk around, and we go to the main area, literally right where we were. And it feels like you are prey. 3 young females in that wing, and you feel like every eye is watching you.
What's up, Jess?
And it was terrifying. I would say it's like the equivalent of when I was really scared in Missouri State Penitentiary, to where it made me almost cry in Missouri State.
Yeah.
This one, like, my feet were already turned to run out of the building. I was terrified. It's probably the most scary experience I've ever had, because I couldn't even turn off my light. I turned off my flashlight for a split second, and I was like, and I turned it back on. And I've never had an issue with being in the dark and being scared, but this, I was like, I don't want to be in the dark. And then Rachel is like, I'm going to go. This is where it gets funny. So Rachel goes, I'm going to go in the cell. I was like, okay. So I stand behind the cell door, and Sam's out across the hall from me. Literally, we're across the little, between the cell and the fence. And we're just standing there, and Rachel comes out, and she goes by Sam, and they meet up. Well, Rachel saw a flashlight down the hallway. So she thought I was down there. I come up right behind them, or right to the side of them. Rachel turns her head, and she sees my face, and she screams. I mean, she jumps, Sam jumps, I jump. We're all like, what? I'm thinking there's something behind me. Like, like, life flashed before my eyes. I think there's something right behind me.
You know what's funny though is when we were in that taking the tour,
Mhm.
and we were standing right outside 13 and 14 cell there.
Mhm.
Rachel was standing in 14, which was dark, in that dark.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden she looked behind her and then ran over to me and stood right next to me and the tour.
Mhm.
And I stood like how you do. She stood like right up on top of me. Like,
Mhm.
I was like, was there something in there? That's what I said to her.
I
And
will
she
say
looked at me. She's like,
she's
I did not like it. I was like,
I will say her reaction is to jump. I will
yeah,
say that.
she was straight up. She ran right up to me. I was like,
When
is
she
there
gets scared,
something
she
in there
jumps,
you
and
didn't
it
like?
scares you. No, she screamed, Sam screamed, I screamed. I thought there was something right behind me, and I was gonna die. And then again, here's the weird thing. Andra comes. And I'm so sorry. I don't know who she was with, but she comes up from, literally, we just got scared. She comes up, and the vibe is completely different. I was like, what just happened? Like,
Well, because one, you're 3 young girls in a
mhm,
solitary confinement where they had nothing but mean men that didn't
mhm,
see women for years.
mhm,
And here you are, 3 young women, you're prey.
mhm.
And Audra was more of a woman, not a child. You know what I'm saying?
She
Not
was
saying that you guys
she
are not children. You know what I'm saying?
It
You're
was
not.
like the fact that they took the fact, like, they knew we were scared, and Victoria was with her, and thank you. And it was like the fact that they knew that we were getting scared, it made them even more wanting to scare us. Like, it was like it's a continuous cycle of that. So when Andrea and Victoria came up and they were just, Andrea was just showing her the prison, it was like, oh my God, I can breathe. And again, it was that like stronger willed person that came up, and she left, and it was right back to the same thing. And so we're like, all right, we need to leave. So we go out and we go down to the main hallway, where the hallway where she's like, if you ever get lost, just find this hallway and you'll go where you need to go. And we're going down there, and she goes, oh, this is the crawler hallway. I go, the what hallway? I go, it is literally, we are about to leave in 30 minutes. And you tell me it is the crawler hallway? What the heck? And she goes, okay, let's turn off our lights. I said, okay, fine. How are we going to see in this? And so we all linked arms. We turn off our flashlights. We all link arms. And next thing you know, Rachel jumps and screams. I go, no, we're not doing this. Turn on the flashlights.
Let me guess. She was in the middle too.
No, she was on the other side of me. Sam was in the middle.
Oh, okay.
She jumped. I said, nope. I said, turn on the flashlights now. And then we literally were about to walk in to the main area, and we were like, let's go down to the I almost want to call it the
Gen Pop.
Shake Shack. No, we went down to the Sugar Shack.
You went down to the Sugar Shack?
Yeah, for about 10 minutes. We go down there, and
well, you guys were the only ones down there because everybody had come out from the yard.
Nope, we weren't.
Oh, was there someone else down there?
Yep, Bailey and the people that he kind of knew was down there, and I don't know what they were doing. And we were just down there, and we walked down, and they're like, hey, you three, come up. I was like, what? They're like, come and stand in front of us. And it's completely dark. We're sitting there with no flashlights on. And kid you not, you look at the light at the top corner, and all of a sudden you wouldn't see it. Like something was standing in front of it. And then it would go back. You would see the light. And I was like, that's creepy. So I walk over to the wall with Sam. Rachel decides to go over by the pillars and stand right there. And I kid you not, I see something run right behind her. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. So then we walk out, kid you not, even like 5 minutes later, we walk out, and I look at Rachel. I go, there was something that ran behind you, right? She goes, okay, because I heard things behind me. And I was like, cool. I was like, and we're done for the night. Let's go, everybody. And we walked right up and went into the main lobby. But I was like, oh my gosh.
What's up, Alicia?
Hi, Alicia.
Jess was in there too. That's why I was like, hey, Jess. She came up.
Hi, Jess. Hi. But yeah, no, I was like, I think that was the scariest part of my night, was that moment of us three going in there.
Into the solitary confinement or the Sugar Shack?
No, us three going into maximum security.
No. Well, maximum security, solitary confinement, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
That was probably the most terrifying of my life. Like, that was probably the most. And now when people are like, what's your scariest moment? It's that. I always used to say when I saw the crawler down in Missouri State Penitentiary, but no, that just
I didn't get to spend. I really wanted to spend. I'd like to go back because I really didn't get to spend a lot of time in the Sugar Shack. I definitely didn't go to general population.
No.
And everything. Someone has a picture of Gen Pop with a light on, like on the 3rd or 4th floor. In the group, pictures they sent. Audra might know who it was, but Alicia's like, let's go. We'll talk about that offline with you later. I was coming up with something, but yeah, I'm like, I really want to go back again because now that I know the places and stuff, there's certain things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go out into the main lobby of the solitary confinement, the day room, and I want to bang on the tables and make, like trying to be, not provoke, but make a little noise and, like we're being loud or something like that.
Aaron Hale and D. Gray.
Oh, okay.
That's who had the
Yeah.
photo.
They got a photo of up on the, I don't know if someone went up and turned the lights on, but when we went through there was no lights whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine just one cell having a light.
Yeah.
But it's a light on in one of those cells, which is kind of creepy.
That's weird.
But we didn't go to Gym Pop. We didn't do, we didn't go over to the the hospital part. We stayed in the psych
infirmary.
Ward. Yeah, infirmary. Thank you. And we didn't go into the hole in the wall either. We didn't go down after that bat flew out of there. I was kind of like,
okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. And then to come to find out on the way home that Lori, our tour guide, has had 3 different sets of rabies shots because she's been bit by a bat 3 times. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why was that not said at the beginning of the tour? I was like, why would you not say, hey, I had a bat latch onto my hand and I couldn't get it off and it bit me.
I'm glad she didn't.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Andra said no one turned the lights on. About 4 cells had lights on, which was weird. That is weird. All the lights were off when we were there doing the tour.
There you go, Alicia. Alicia has a way of making bats go away. We definitely need her repeller. That is weird, Audra, that lights would come on in a cell if nobody was up there. How would you even know? Would it have wouldn't it be all connected like on one, they like lights out, and they would turn off the lights. You would think it'd be connected. If one light would come on, they all would come on.
I'm guessing
that's crazy.
Not.
And was that in general population? I guess we really don't know where. I guess it was because the way the cells, it looked like they were stacked like general population was. And it's funny.
They were not connective cells either. So it's not.
That's crazy.
That's weird.
And general population there looks the same as it does at Missouri State Penitentiary.
I think that's also kind of why we didn't go there at first. Like that was going to be like our last thing. Like we really wanted to hit the unique spots of what makes West Virginia.
Yeah,
not to take anything away from not to take anything from Gem Pop there, but I really wanted to hit like the Sugar Shack. They don't have one at Missouri State Penitentiary.
No.
The Psych Ward, they don't have that. Just like that kind of stuff. And maximum security, yes, they had a solitary confinement there, but like that was pretty heavy at the.
No, their death row would be our. Well, I guess solitary confinement would be D3 too.
Yeah,
that's so pretty dark down there.
There was just different things that we wanted to hit before we went to general population.
Yeah, and I would have to say, hands down, West Virginia Penitentiary bigger than Missouri State Penitentiary.
Yes.
And this prison is in the middle of a neighborhood. Like there's houses on all 4 sides of this place. Like you would wake up in the morning, go to work. There's the jail. There's the penitentiary right in the front yard.
The penitentiary is literally 2 minutes from the state border of Ohio.
Yeah. The penitentiary is literally like maybe 4 minutes from the state line. So
yeah. But I don't know if it is actually bigger, but it seems, I will say though, it does seem bigger because it is one building.
Yeah, but Missouri State has tore down a lot of buildings. So I'm wondering, if you compared them when they were all built at the same time and nothing was tore down, if they were the bigger, the same size. And then they did have an infirmary and a psych ward and stuff at Missouri State. But I believe those buildings have been torn down since then. So they've torn a lot of stuff down at Missouri State. And everything like that.
Andra said that picture was taken at B Block. Here's the thing. So here's my conclusion between in people. I know sometimes they're like, you can't compare the two. You can't. They're different. And here's how they're different. And they have the same vibe of you went there, not endured a lot. Missouri State Penitentiary was torture.
Yes.
West Virginia Penitentiary is brutal.
Yes. I would say Missouri State. Yeah, Missouri State Penitentiary was built for
torture,
not luxury.
No.
Yeah, the people the people I know it don't sound right, but the people at West Virginia, I didn't see anything that was other than the 3 people in those 1 cells and stuff like that.
There was no underground cells. There was no. I mean, between the unsanitariness, yes, but I mean,
but I would think that it was the 47 bloodiest acres is for a reason.
Yes, and because it was torture there. When you went there, you were basically tortured. And now, don't get me wrong, at West Virginia's penitentiary, it was brutal. People died brutal deaths. They did.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they did the same thing at Missouri State too. So.
Oh yeah, but I think that's just like the best way to like put those two on opposite sides. Just a way to think about the two different places.
Alicia, we did not climb the mound. We didn't know about the mound until after we were there.
No, and it closed at a certain time.
Yeah, but we didn't know about the big mound out there. Why it's called Moundville or whatever and stuff. But yeah.
Now said, here's my conclusion: ghost.
Yeah.
Well,
West Virginia was this past weekend. We're going back to West Virginia. Hopefully, we had some people that have canceled and bailed for certain different reasons and stuff. So we're trying to fill the spots, and if not, then we'll be canceled. But that was to go to Lake Shawnee, Trans-Allegheny, Lunatic, which the prison and the lunatic asylum have connection because some of those patients were taken over to Trans-Allegheny and stuff from the prison, or ones that couldn't go to Trans-Allegheny were stuck at the prison, she said. And then we're supposed to do Sweet Spring Sanitarium.
Yeah.
But if that trip does not happen, I at least got to know that we went to West Virginia once at least.
Yeah.
And seen that. Hell of a drive. It's an 8.5 hour drive through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and boom.
Indiana.
As soon as you go through Ohio, West Virginia Penitentiary is literally 4 minutes from the state line. It's not like very far. We don't have to drive very far into West Virginia. And the really cool thing, and Maddie's got a picture, and she probably didn't download it, but the fog on the Appalachian Mountains and stuff was like really cool to see.
It was.
And stuff like that. So, and the people's houses were really weird. Like it came like their backyards light up to the Appalachian Mountains, but then so many deer in the tree lines.
They probably have to stay there because if not, who knows what's in the Appalachian Mountain?
Yeah,
no one knows.
Imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine what the sounds are.
But yeah, no. Oh, I would love to go back to West Virginia Penitentiary. I loved it. It was fun. My second prison. But
yeah, if you want to experience a prison, September 29th, everybody. Tickets are still available. They are
September 21st.
I'm sorry, September 21st for Missouri State Penitentiary, and everything. And just to kind of wrap things up, that was pretty much our night. We went home and had the long drive home Sunday.
Yeah.
And they did have breakfast at 4 a.m, though. It was so nice to come off.
I don't know what those front desk people. I don't know what those front desk people were thinking, but they saw about 15 people walk through that
20
hotel.
of us come in that hotel and eat breakfast at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, they had breakfast out at 4 in the morning. It was so nice to come off a ghost hunt and eat, and then go take a nap to sleep before we left. It was so good.
Yeah.
What a way to top off. So my conclusion is, I know since I've been doing this ghost hunt, everybody's talked to me about West Virginia being like the pinnacle ghost place. Like,
You should never make it your first. That's what I
yeah,
always
you should
say
never
too.
make it your first. Now, Cameron, who's been there numerous times, Audra's been there, and everything. Cameron told me that he was like disappointed because the activity wasn't what it was.
Uh-huh. He said it was a weird night.
Yeah, they said it was a weird night, that the activity really wasn't. Now, the activity I did get did kind of, it was kind of cool, and it freaked us out, and we did get activity. I wouldn't say it was off the chain, but I would love to go back and experience it again a second time and know what we're doing and see if it would be really crazy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you people that are in Tennessee, Ohio, next year, we've been talking, and we're going to try to do an event at West Virginia Penitentiary. Maybe collab with a couple teams to help us work it out and stuff. But I think that's one of the we're going to try all new places next year. We've been doing a lot of the last 2 years the same places. Next year on our list are places that we haven't done. I mean, we'll still have like a Missouri State Penitentiary and stuff like that.
We haven't. This is our first
That's
year
our
doing it,
big
so we'll
place. Yeah.
definitely bring it
But
back.
next year we'll be shooting for like, like in Edinburgh and Eloise and places that we haven't been to either and stuff. So West Virginia, I know we've been to West Virginia, but we haven't had an event at West Virginia. We didn't have an event at West Virginia. So maybe we'll do Lake Shawnee one weekend, see if we can do Lake Shawnee and West Virginia Penitentiary in the weekend thing or something like that. So we're going to try to work that out. Pay attention to that. That might be coming.
To go on our Facebook page, we recently just posted a post stating that we do have some spots left on our West Virginia trip if you would like to go.
Yes. That is 3:30. It's 3:31 if all 10 spots are filled. For just the locations. That's not counting your stay and your gas and your food and stuff like that. So 3:31 is just for the 3 buildings. Entrance into the 3 buildings.
I mean, it is a deal because you got to think of the places you're going, and also.
And we're trying to do a B&B where we all get to stay together and stuff like that. So we're going to work on that. That's going to be under 150 a person. So trying to where the 150 would be for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't have to. So you're looking at 480, and then I don't know how much your gas and stuff. So whatever that 480 would pretty much be 500 would probably be your hotel stay, your stay for the 5 days, and your entrance into those 3 lovely places and that. But we also have tickets available, not very many, for this next weekend. We'll be at McIntyre Villa, which I hopefully will have Stephanie. She was our very first guest on our podcast, and I'm going to try to see if we can get her on for next Tuesday to talk about what's been going on in a year and a half, because it's been almost 2 years since we've been there.
Yeah, so, I'm excited to see what's been happening.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back. The big black shadow. I haven't been back there since that shadow guy scared the crap out of me and made me scream like a girl. So I definitely want to confront that next Friday night. And the kids in the playroom, doll room, or whatever it's called, and stuff like that. So hopefully next week we have Stephanie on. If not, we'll try to get Josh on from Glore. But we do have McIntyre Villa on Friday and Glore on Saturday. You can go to both. You can go to one and everything like that. But they're not very far apart. um, and everything. So if you haven't been to McAteer Valley, it's a great, awesome place to explore and to investigate. Glore is just hands down just a great psychiatric museum. It's crazy. Just the stuff inside there.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. You probably on free roam, there's a lot of people that don't even investigate because they're just looking around all the really amazing stuff. At least that's what we did our first time.
Yeah. So that's it. Like I said, we'll have that Randolph County at the end of the month. Don't forget about that. That place is crazy. I've seen some videos of what's going on there. Like, I can't wait to hear some disembodied voices, and stuff like that. That place is supposed to be crazy active too. So, I got some 3 great events. These are our last 3 events of August, and then we only have really 5 events left.
Yeah.
We have these 3. Missouri State. We will not be going to Melbourne Manor. We canceled that event. We just have so much going on in the last few weeks of Maddie turning 21. And we're booked all through October. Probably going to be working with Nicole in the building. She got her loan here. Things are going to start be changing here. And things are going to be getting done, getting her occupancy permit so she can open up. We'll be doing ghost tours here, under St. Louis Haunted Mansion. We will be running her ghost tours for her. So we got a lot of things working in October. Then our last big event is Halloween. It's a private event on Halloween, but we still have tickets for Friday. Saturday is sold out, but there are limited tickets left for Friday night, November 1st at the Monroe House, which will be our last weekend. And then we shut down pretty much all the events until next year. We do the podcast for a couple more weeks, and then we'll be shut down for, I think this year we will be done the week before Thanksgiving, and then we won't start back up till February 1st. We're going to take 2.5 months off for the podcast to get through winter and everything like that. So,
and I think too, like, we do have a very busy October, and it just gives us a way to like relax, spend some time, do some things that we wanted to do throughout the whole year and we couldn't. But yeah, that's why we take those months off.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about Randolph County. Yeah, everybody come up to Randolph County, buy a ticket. It's a great place. I heard it's huge and stuff. So, and everything. But yeah, come see us. I mean, we got so much stuff hopefully happening. Got some ideas to be working on some new stuff we're going through. I know I have not been on TikTok, Paranormal Alicia and all them. I'm not ignoring you guys. I just haven't been on TikTok, Mile. Just trying to work through some things behind the scenes about getting some stuff. I'm going to be working with a studio crew to do their soundboard so I can learn some more stuff for our stuff. We have some really cool equipment coming that people are loaning us that we have to figure out and stuff like that. So, the radio show, I don't know if it was on Saturday or not. I haven't seen it. I don't know if we were. Did anybody listen? I didn't. I forgot to listen on Saturday night and stuff. But
we were kind of busy Saturday night, to be fair.
Yeah. But I know we have a couple episodes on a radio show we did with News Talk STL. They got a paranormal hour on Saturdays. We did 2 episodes of them. One is talking about the Missouri State Penitentiary and stuff. So you can't miss out. Anything else, Maddie? I know we kind of just rambling here.
Nope.
I know we started late with the whole debacle of the whole can't hear. There's just Google home screen is on my page. It seems to run better when StreamYard is not online, like up on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I don't know why. It has to do something with the computer.
Yeah.
So I'll have to bring the laptop next week and see if that works different on that. But other than that, that was our trip. We made it home. We're back. Thanks for everybody coming on and listening to us. Promote, get your tickets for this come next weekend. It'll be one of our last few chances that we're going probably to McIntyre and Glore for a while. So if you want to investigate with us and stuff, buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, you heard it here, folks.
Stay